currently recording? Oh boy, that
That's
is
how you
scary.
know. Everybody
was,
gets scared about that.
Well,
Everybody.
because
I warn
she's never
people.
yelled at us before.
Yeah, it's
That was.
'cause
I
now
think that's a new thing that happened like a month ago, and people are like, "What?"
It's new in the last 4 months.
Yeah,
I'm
like I'll
leaving.
pause it. See,
Why do you hate me?
the video of my face is in a server in China somewhere now.
Witness me. Wile E. Coyote gets a witness me moment. Like that happened in that movie. Wile E. Coyote in that movie, when given the choice to do whatever he wanted, Wile E. Coyote went to Mad Max Fury Road World, joined up with a Morton Joe, a sex pest who keeps milkmaids and withholds water from people, and took up with that. He was like, "That's the crew for me. Fuck you, Bugs Bunny. Not hard enough for me."
I've also adopted sex pests since Red Letter Media.
Oh yeah, that's all I say it all the time now. It just sounds nicer than saying rapist or any of the shitty words where you're like, man, that brings the room down. You say sex pest, everyone gets what you're talking about, and nobody's sad.
And with that, welcome to 3 hours later. I'm Matt, joined with Alex.
Hey.
And Hannah.
Not a sex pest.
Not a sex pest, registered non-sex pest.
You have to register to not be one too. It's a really, it's a not a super fact.
That map is unreadable. Actually, surprisingly readable. It's scary. So we're back.
What
do we do?
I don't know. I got water.
Oh, I got
to start.
Spicy water with booze in it.
Do we review things? Do I review this Diet Coke?
Did you drink it for 3 hours?
No. Well, it's empty. It's been empty for like 3 hours.
Get out.
Fun fact. May not be fun. It's fun for me, but Diet Coke.
Fun fact. Also may suck.
So the recipe for Diet Coke, aside from the sweeteners, is actually the same recipe for New Coke.
Yeah.
And so Diet Coke was the thing first, became popular, and they're like, you know what, we should just make this the new recipe. And then they made regular Coke with the recipe of Diet Coke, and everyone's like, this is terrible. And then Coke Classic came back, but the recipe for Coke Zero is the same recipe as Classic Coke, and that's why I think I like Coke Zero more.
That's why I don't like Coke Zero, because I don't like Coke. Like I know this is a gross drink for gross people.
I was saying that gross, like it's
it's gross. I love it, but it's gross.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm like, okay, I want the taste of a Diet Coke right now. Like, there's just some times where I do.
Yeah, sometimes I'm mad at my mouth.
Hate the taste of Diet Coke.
I take chomps out of cactuses and wash it down with the Diet Coke.
Sometimes I need my mouth to know that it's my enemy.
This is your fault. So anyway,
it's been a while.
I'm still looking at new stuff, trying to figure out what I've been doing.
Forget about the new stuff. Let's talk about the old stuff. It's been a long time.
It's been over a month, at least. Almost 2.
Oh, it's been well over a month.
Has it?
So what's up, guys? How have you been? We talk every day in a group chat, but we literally never see each other until we record something.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what I've been up to that you guys don't already know about. Oh, I'm down a real deep Masters of the Universe rabbit hole right now. Like real deep.
Like
it's a real shame. Yeah, like right now.
Isn't that Wizard Dude a rabbit?
What?
Is that Masters of the Universe?
Are you talking about fucking Orko?
I think so.
It's a trolling, you it. God, what the fuck?
I'm an it?
I went to call you an idiot, then I was going to call you a bitch, and I thought both were too mean, and it just came out as it, which is even worse.
I thought you were going to call me an idiot, but it just came out way faster.
I took away your humanity.
No.
No, I've been like down a deep rabbit hole about He-Man. Just like this is the level I've hit. I'm now countless hours into a YouTube channel that is run by an old man who used to work for Mattel, who was the brand manager for Masters of the Universe Classics, and all he does is tell stories about what made them make the characters. That's
well,
it.
You see, it's
PowerPoints too,
and he is a man.
These aren't even like good videos. These are PowerPoint presentations using stock images that he pulls off the internet, and he has the worst microphone.
Oh,
yeah. There's no reason for me to do this, but it's where I'm at right now because I need to read all about Masters of the Universe and watch everything about Masters of the Universe and be happy that it's coming back and hope it's good.
I never got into it. It completely just missed me.
Yeah, so we had talked about that. Me and Alex were in an age of growing up in the early to mid '90s, so we missed out on a lot of the '80s cartoons. But for some reason, some of them got reruns. Like they got, I don't know if they got syndicated or what. But Masters of the Universe, I feel like I never got to catch the reruns. But we got to see GI Joe, we got to see Transformers, but
It
not
aged
Masters
the
of the
worst of
Universe.
all the shows.
Did it?
Well, it's just because like I honestly my theory is that it's just because of the naming conventions they used. Because like as you grow up, you never become embarrassed of Optimus Prime or Bumblebee or Gung Ho or Duke. Like those are names that if you say them, you're not like sitting there going like, yeah, it's He-Man. He-Man is his name. And like over the years,
Faces.
Manny faces, because he has many faces. But it's because they just backed into all of it because it was toys first, and then over the years, a lot of really decent people who've come together to like give backstories that make it less shitty, but it's still caught up on the fact that it's He-Man and Skeletor and Beastman and Merman. Like they fuck themselves with all those names. It's a lot cooler when they're like Adam versus Keldor, his uncle.
And I assume
stupid He-Man.
because it was in the '80s, it was created just to sell toys, right? Like
100%,
that was the whole thought behind the naming. I'm sure
it was
just like,
one
this
of the
is-
first shows after the regulations went away about what you could do to like advertise toys. It was one of the first shows that was made exclusively to sell toys.
The animation looks amazing. Like
Yeah,
it looks
it
clean.
Yeah, so the new one, like Kevin Smith's one of the writers. Who else is
It's
working
out on the
this?
23rd as well, so that's soon.
Yeah, Kevin Smith actually is the showrunner,
Which kind of
is
worries
kind
me
of
now.
wild. Well, it turns out apparently because he's also of the same age where he grew up like knee deep in He-Man. And I think it's one of those things that
did
like,
what?
yeah, see, you can't say the fucking name. It's just one of those IPs where I think a lot of people around my age, like up and down 10 years, have like a huge amount of reverence for it, but also never talk about it because it's never something to talk about. Like even now, I'm like, I don't even know if they need to make a movie because the reality is the reason I like the Thor movies so much is the Thor movies are just He-Man. Yeah, that shit's just He-Man right there. But like Kevin Smith apparently really, really loved the show, like really loved it, had a real reverence for it. And the weirdest thing about the new one is that it's a sequel to the show. It's not a reboot. It's not like She-Ra where they're just taking the framework and making a whole new thing.
Huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
know
this
that
is
either.
literally
So now I got to watch the original to
all
know what's going
100
on.
Is this
get through all
Sun?
135
Is it
episodes.
Sunman? What's going on?
No, it's still
What?
He-Man.
Still He-Man?
Just yeah, he didn't die in the original series. Not
Oh, it
like
could just be
Optimus
like a
Prime did in the movie.
different
So
character base.
fun fact, in the original series, he was not allowed to hit anybody with his sword. Nobody could die. Like there were so many weird rules in it that when you watch it now, you're like, oh yeah, that show was terrible. That
So-
Kevin Smith has said by the end of the first episode, all those rules are gone.
Sweet.
And are they gonna explain why he gets skinny when he's Adam?
No, that should just be, we just have to accept that that's how it should have always been.
Yeah.
Because it turns out, guys, He-Man doesn't mean man. He is the trolling word for power. And so when he picks up the sword of power or the sword of he, and he calls out the magic chant, he becomes Power Man, but it's a different language.
Oh, so is it Troll
Also
Door?
still
You said
Trolling.
trolling.
It's
they
Orko's
they
race's
sure be
name.
trolling.
They do.
Okay, but man is just English. Man's not a trolling word for something.
It's for female. It's really weird.
Oh
They're
yeah,
super woke. No, it's just man. It's just
way before
again,
their time.
it's creative people trying to make sense of something that is just so fundamentally stupid, but amazing.
Well, I'm for it. I don't know if I'll watch it, but
How many episodes is
I probably
it?
will.
10
see?
episodes for the first season, but they're doing 5 episodes, then a break, then 5 more later in the year.
I like that. So many like the seasons are a lot shorter that I like. Remember like TV series used to have like 20, 30 episodes for no damn
Yeah.
reason and there's filler episodes for over half of them. They just give me the main course. I don't need anything else.
I also am okay with waiting, which is because I think I'm back on board liking episodic TV. Like
Yeah.
I'm enjoying not just like watching everything in one day.
I don't know. I think some benefit off the binge. I think we talked about that too with was it Lovecraft? That
Yeah.
got canceled, and for me
Boy,
having
do
that
they
week
look
to week,
stupid now.
Well,
Having
I'm
that-
also wondering if that's why.
having that
Maybe.
week to week kind of like it was great, but it was pretty intense every episode. So I kind of waited for a few episodes to build up, and then I would watch it. But the new series and things came up where I left it on the back burner. I don't know where I left off at. I think there's like 1 or 2 episodes I still have to finish, but now that it's
Oh, I
over,
love that.
I don't want to go back and watch it.
No, well,
Yeah.
the good news is you can watch that first season and it is a complete story. It literally adapts the whole book.
I forget.
So I mean, part of
know
it for the second season is also
House.
probably that I mean, I've seen the outline that the creator of the show put out for what she wanted the second season to be, and it sounds really good. But also, it's just got to be harder not having the framework of like an existing book to start up with.
Mhm.
And when she was like, "Oh, there's no more IP to grab onto," like HBO was like, "No IP. What do we do? We need an IP.
Last time we get yelled at when we kept continuing something without.
LeBron
It's-
James needs all of our IPs."
Oh, they talk about Game of Thrones. You
Yeah,
don't
that's
know how
what
to
I was going
finish
at.
it. Oh, okay, yeah. Hannah went with the Space Jam.
No, they do know how to finish it. It's by deep faking LeBron James into it.
I missed that episode of Game of Thrones. I don't know where I am.
He was a king
According to
of some sort.
Space Jam, it doesn't matter. They're just going to do it. They're just going to shoehorn him into things that already exist. The fucking movie's insane.
Yeah,
So
they
how
call
was
him
Space
king
Jam?
way too many times. You got a king
Oh my god, yeah.
like Braun or LeBron. Stick with Braun. Braun. They could have done so many things. They kept calling him king. I'm a Lakers fan.
It's-
I'm a LeBron fan. Like it was too much. It was too much.
So I hear it's terrible.
But
Well-
again, you should watch it. Like I legitimately, Matt, like you specifically, I think you would have fun in this movie. There's a 30-minute chunk from when he gets to the Toon World to when he starts playing basketball that I think is legitimately kind of awesome. Like it's not that it's good, it's just kind of awesome.
Is it the movie jumping thing?
It's the movie jumping plus like the like they get Looney Tunes in this movie.
Mm.
Like the Looney Tunes act like Looney Tunes and it's
Mhm.
fun. And the animations, I really, really like the animation style. I think they really did something special with it.
But can anyone
But-
explain the storyline to me?
Yes.
Explain it.
Warner Brothers invented deep fakes, and the way they
Yeah,
use it is by
okay.
using a singular AI instead of the version that we all use. And that AI is Don Cheadle, so he's not a real human. And that AI decided that the only way to save Warner Brothers business was to do the only idea dumber than Quibi, which is to deep fake LeBron James into all their IPs. And then LeBron James goes, "That seems dumb." And the AI goes, "Fuck you," and kidnaps his son.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
And they
And then he has to play basketball
basketball.
to save the world.
They did a whole sword art online where no one could leave. If he loses, they're all in there.
Which, by the
Dead.
way, fucking cool. Like that world looked cool as shit. Everything you love
But
is there.
dead.
You don't have to worry about money. Like-
Apparently, if you're a human, you could get scanned in there and you could eat licorice. Like that's totally
Yeah.
digestible.
Why was everyone so stoked to go back to their real life? Like they're like, "Yeah, I need to get back to COVID and paying bills."
The
Are you sure you
weirdest
could go
thing.
live with the guys from Scooby Doo? No, I really want to go pay bills.
The weirdest thing was the background of the whole basketball game, where it wasn't it was like the wish of Game of Thrones characters. It was like the wish of it in the background. It was just so awkward. They didn't even do a good
nobody was
detailed job
played
of
by
it.
the real person, or nobody was even like rendered to look like the real person because then they'd have to pay them.
Mm-hmm. They're like the whole
Yeah,
time,
they're
just
like,
awkwardly
"Hey."
cheering, just like doing one of
But also,
those
Is it
things.
even like related to the original Space Jam?
no,
they
but
reversed
kind of.
it. Looney Tunes had to go get Michael Jordan, to help them save their universe, and they reversed it. Now LeBron's looking at the Looney Tunes to help him, and they didn't even really make that.
The Lakers losing that badly?
No, and they established early on that movie that is impossible. How dare you? LeBron James is the greatest basketball man and best athlete of all time, and he knew Kobe Bryant.
He's not my king.
But apparently he's
That's
a
what the whole beginning tells me.
douchebag of a dad.
Yeah,
I didn't
Terrible
get that.
fucking dad.
Because
Terrible dad.
in real
Like, I have
life, I
no
think
problem
he's
with
a
that.
great dad. I think he's been always a loyal family man. You see him with his son. He's always been with his wife. No cheating scandal. No celebrity
Yeah.
girlfriend. And they kind of put the angle of him just being a real dick to his son. Like, you have to be in basketball. When we're on this court, it's nothing but basketball.
And honestly, being kind
Yeah,
of like,
almost.
oh, my family.
Take him,
Yeah.
please.
But the one time they do reference Michael Jordan, it is a fantastic joke that I do not want to spoil. Like it is
That was pretty good.
so good. It is so good that I clapped. I was in my house and like my hands struck each other because I was just like, I don't know how to react to this. Oh my god. But
Car alarms going off across the block.
yeah, it's a movie. It's
That's what I
definitely
hear.
It's definitely 2 hours long.
That's an issue.
can't-
That's what I'm saying. There's a good half hour in that movie.
I can't rate this movie as like 1 out of 10 or 5 stars. It's a pass or fail for me because there's gonna be that part of me that just wants that nostalgia of the original Space Jam and the soundtrack and the way I felt, playing, just watching Space Jam. And I watched it with my daughter. She's 5. She was fine with all the cartoon stuff, but then when it switches to like the real life family drama, she tuned out. Like she wasn't going along with the storyline. Like, okay,
Yeah,
Looney
what's
Tunes
turned
going
out
on?
she wasn't super into the nitty gritty of how good a father LeBron James is.
Or is or
It's like,
was it?
Dad, why doesn't he spend more time with his son?
I made a video game, Dad. Shut up, play basketball.
Yeah, that's oh yeah, and also his son is a weird genius who made a fucking video game, and his dad's
No.
like, I don't know what video games are.
I've never
that's
heard of
what they
NBA
play.
Jam.
I'm not exactly of the age to look at that and be like, you fucking made a video game? You made
So-
in your bedroom? What the hell? Are you a genius? Do we need to put you in a special school?
Mhm.
Instead, it's like, Dad, I made NBA Jam from scratch. And his dad's like, I don't understand. How
I
does
have no son.
he's on fire? That's mean.
That's
Why
the
is
thing
he
too.
saying from downtown? It's a court.
They scan different. So they get actual WNBA, NBA players that were scanned in to bake that opposing team. So you get like a spider or a tarantula. You get a snake. I don't know what they did for water,
Pokemon?
and fire. Like, did they
Okay.
scan Icy Hot? I don't. They did not
No,
even talk
Shaq
about
wasn't
that.
in it. They legally are not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Icy Hot unless Shaq shows up.
Imagine if they scan Icy Hot and then they just get Shaq. Like, you just scan different items and see which NBA player you get.
And not even like cool cartoon or like
you-
superheroes. Shaq just like current day, just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Just
Well,
sitting
no.
there like, I was in Papa John's.
Do you guys remember
1-800
scan-
General?
There's like a tiger toy called Scanners,
Yeah.
and it was a UPC device that you would actually scan barcodes at the store,
different
Yes.
monsters.
and it would make like little monsters on it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that because it was like a walk around version of Monster Rancher.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want that instead of Looney Tunes.
I would randomly just draw
I mean, just in general,
stripes
yeah,
on
sounds
like
good.
a piece of paper to scan. It would work.
I would try to scan Dark Angel all the time.
So yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
a movie. I would have loved it 5
That's-
years
that's
ago
the
and
best
got
thing.
Kobe.
Space Jam 2. It's a movie.
Imagine
you-
if it was Kobe. I would have loved that. I think that would have been great.
I think that's too soon.
I think that would have been awesome if it was 5 years ago.
But that would have made more sense. Like, it'd be
Mhm.
way cooler to me if they could figure out how to put Kobe in there.
No, it'd be weird if they were calling him LeBron. It doesn't make sense.
They just keep calling him King.
King, yeah, it's Tweety Bird just looking up at him saying King. It just felt weird.
Oh, okay, Matt. You've seen the trailer for the movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember in the trailer there was one part that I know a lot of people that were really upset at, and it was when Granny did the Matrix kick.
Oh yeah.
What if I told you that's paying off a joke from earlier in the movie that's actually funny?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I didn't hate the trailer at all. I was just like,
Yeah, then you'll
I'll-
like this 40-minute period or
Yeah.
30-minute period. We'll just isolate that on HBO Max and be like, Matt, get drunk. We're gonna hit play and then we're gonna leave. What have you played, Matt? What have you watched?
Oh boy, I've been doing a
Alex
lot
and
of.
I are wasting our lives. It's up to you to carry us through something
Oh,
worthwhile.
don't know. Oh, okay. So I was gonna throw this in earlier when we were talking about episodic stuff. Fear Street. I just finished that,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was an awesome experience. So from previous episodes of 3 Hours Later, the creator of Goosebumps actually had a young adult novel series as well called Fear Street. And so Netflix did an adaptation. It's not based off of a specific book or anything, just kind of that universe. And it was three full movies released a week apart for 3 weeks total. And it is one continuous story. And it is awesome. Like, I didn't think I was going to get that much joy out of like a young adult novel based horror thing. But man, that paid off 100%. And highly suggest it.
It was so good. I mean, it paid off. Like I was always worried for like that third movie, and it's like,
Yep.
where is this going? Because it's going from what was it? So the first one was
1994.
94. So you get the awesome like 90s soundtrack, and then
Yep.
that's like the current timeline. Then they go
Mhm.
backward and they go further back. The last one was like 1666. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know where they were going at all with this. And I was kind of like, I was very worried because that's not the same people. Why aren't they solving what's happening in the current time? And they're explaining it, and it pays off in such a big way. I was really surprised.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing, was that it kind of ramped up even. Like, I would say
Mhm.
each movie is better than the last. And
Yeah.
normally, like, these are filmed back to back and everything. So like it was just like one long shot thing. But when it comes to movies, generally the sequels don't capture the same magic as the original movie. But this one just man.
How do you
I
feel
haven't watched them
from
yet. I'm sorry.
instead of doing movies, like this was different because they could have done episodes. They really could have, but they
Mhm.
did 3 movies within almost a month span. It was different than I would have seen before. Like really, anyone has ever done. What do you think of that approach compared to episodes?
I thought it was awesome. Like, I really do hope that we get more of that in the future. We'll see. Like, I mean, ultimately, this was just an experiment by Netflix, I think. But I know I was looking forward to it every week. Like, it brought back that thing, but also I don't have to like, because some shows are just episodic things that are week to week. Sometimes, depending on the show, like I'll just wait till it's done and I'll catch up later. But this one,
Yeah.
like, I was legitimately excited. Like at work, like that's all I've been talking about. Um, all my coworkers next to me are like, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" Like that's all that's the Monday water cooler talk for the last couple of weeks. And
Well, that's cool though. I mean, that's one of that's one of the arguments for being episodic, even in just in television, is like if this had just been a single movie. Well, if it had been a single movie, it sounds like it wouldn't have been as good. But let's say it was a single movie and it was just as good. It would have been a week worth of conversation. Then we move on to the next thing. But it was 3 sustained weeks of like talking about it and building anticipation and getting into it, and like it stayed in the consciousness. And I mean, that's what Disney Plus has done so well with The Mandalorian and all the Marvel shows, is that it's been a long time since I know like every single person I know is going like, oh, what did you think of this episode of this? And you have like a week to digest it and talk about it, and then
yeah,
you're as you ramp up toward the next one, you have theories of what'll happen. And
yeah, and you
I
don't
just
have to
forgot
like,
that's fun. It's
yeah,
fun to do that.
you don't have to like preemptively, okay, how far are you, like if
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Stranger Things is out, like, okay, how far are you, because I want to talk about this, but I don't know how far I can talk. And that definitely nails it. And I'll throw in The Boys too. Like The Boys definitely does that as well. I think this one also does nail that the nostalgia, kind of like Stranger Things, but Stranger Things is kind of getting to the point where it's kind of running that into the ground. But this one just, first one, 90s, feels like the 90s feelings rush back, and then it's done. And then next one, okay, we're in the 70s. Camp slasher, like it's giving me all the of course I didn't live in the 70s, but I get all the vibe, the nostalgia watching like Friday the 13th movies as a kid, and just gets that nailed. And then you get your period piece at the finale, and it just it does each time period very well, and there's an overarching story that just really, it's a nice little bow on top. And I don't know, I'm just gonna keep gushing about this trilogy here, and I can't wait to buy the freaking box set if they ever make one.
Yeah, they did have some
So
weird story, kind of cliches and things that, especially the more of the
Yeah.
first movie. But I was not
Yeah,
prepared for how
that's why I say it ramps up.
the gruesome of
Yeah.
oh man, it was pretty gruesome at times.
Oh, there is some deaths that you don't think is gonna happen, and they
Uh-huh.
happen.
so the thing I'm curious about is like somebody who I'm going to watch it. I just haven't watched it yet because my time has been filled with Masters of the Universe bullshit. And Big Brother, because that's on 3 nights a week plus the live feeds. I gotta watch those live
Oh
feeds.
boy.
That's a
Let me tell you
commitment.
guys, Frenchie's trying to make too big an alliance, and he's gonna pay the price this week potentially.
I don't know what that
but
means.
no, yeah, you shouldn't. Don't go down the rabbit hole with me. No, what I was curious though, so I don't know these. I know the books. I know what they are. I know they were like the hey, you outgrew Goosebumps. Here's like the real scary books from R.L. Stein. Is this all of the books adapted, or is this like
No,
just a story they made inspired by?
Yeah, so it's totally just inspired by. It's not
Okay.
any specific story from the existing books.
So that means like they could then, based on how well this has been received, assuming the ratings are there with it, like this could become like a new, like yearly or bi-yearly,
Yeah.
or just
Oh,
something.
God,
It
I
could
hope
become a new
so.
event where they're just like, hey, here's the next like wave of shit.
Yeah.
They won't say it like that because they'll be proud of it. But
I mean, I don't know if you saw the trailer in the background, but it was just like shitty side, so they could.
yeah, I mean, I'm really happy it exists. Like, even though I haven't watched it yet, it's exciting to see something like this out there. It's exciting as somebody who is a fan of horror films and is a fan of the different subgenres of horror for different reasons. I think it's really cool hearing you guys talk about it, and like you said, seeing that the first one looks like it's more of a overly intelligent takedown of horror, just like we had in the 90s. And then the second one is all about like being just a good ass campy slasher film. And then the third one, I'm just assuming, is The Witch. I
Yeah.
hope.
So, and that's the.
Like more creepy horror, probably.
So this is almost like a Cabin in the Woods situation as well. Like I wouldn't even say that these movies are those themes. It's that they are informed of those themes, but really the main story, it's not a slasher. You know, it's more than just that.
Yeah,
And
but
that's why I think it was
it
so cool.
honors those. It like
Yes,
respects
for sure.
them.
Yeah.
That's what I think is intriguing to me about it, because so often the only way you see something honor slasher movies is by being campy as shit and like making fun of it. But
Yeah.
then every once in a while you get like an It Follows where it's like, no. We're gonna remind you what it was like to be scared of Jason Voorhees, or be scared of like the very slow walking ghost thing
Yeah.
that
Kind
you
of.
know if it touches you will kill you. And like that's what I like, is when it's a homage and a calling out of it, but also like really really saying like, we loved this, we
Yeah.
love this subject matter.
So without getting into the spoilers of it all, but this is a little bit more than that. So it's like I would say before Cabin in the Woods, of course, would be like Scream. Scream is super meta with how slashers are, but it is still a slasher in itself.
Yeah.
But this one is about slashers, but there is a bigger story than just the crazy mad serial killer going around. Like there's a bigger force, I guess. And that's why I would not actually say that these movies are even slashers. It's just that they have a slasher in them. And it is totally informed by the like it knows what it's referencing and all that stuff. But it's just, I don't know, it's
That's
hard
really
to,
cool.
it's really hard to describe without spoiling stuff. But it's not exactly a Cabin in the Woods. Like it's not like some like government's doing goofs and gaffes just to save everyone from some faceless gods. And it's not like Scream where it is a slasher, but it's like a slasher that knows slashers or anything.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not
But
gonna like reference other movies that it's lampooning or inspired by.
yeah, but it's just, if you ever be aware, you're in for a scare.
This one, just the way you guys had talked about it, like not tonight even, but like leading up to it, and like not just you guys, but other people I know, it sounds to me like the way we remember
It's real.
Are You Afraid of the Dark feeling? You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah,
I remember
that's
like watching that, like that was that show that I would watch, and I'm like, no matter what it happens, I'm gonna get at least an okay horror story.
Yeah,
And then
that's-
as an adult rewatching it, going like, oh, these were mostly terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
I mean,
There was one
yeah,
that always got me is the dollhouse one.
which one was that?
Her friend gets trapped in a dollhouse, and the more time, and then she had to go and follow her,
Yeah.
and the more time she
She started
spent,
getting,
she'd
like,
becoming
stiff.
yeah.
Yeah.
That one, I just remember that one.
Yeah. So
I
this is
don't know,
kind
yeah.
of like that, and I feel like Are You Afraid of the Dark was like a step above Goosebumps as far as like maturity of it all. Like I felt like
Yeah,
Are You
yeah.
Afraid of the Dark was pretty scary.
Well, that was the difference
Mhm.
for me, like because I had aged out of Goosebumps, but I was at the perfect age for Are You Afraid of the Dark, where I was like, yeah, I'm a grown up. I'm 12 or 13.
Oh no, that pirate's really spooky.
I don't know if you guys saw what I just sent. Yeah, I'm sorry to take us off course, but did you see that they're gonna make toys for the Gendy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars? That's wild. Like, because they put it on Disney
Oh,
Plus recently.
the 2D
The,
one, huh?
the really good one, the one that like
The Samurai
is-
Jack one.
yeah, the one that like, and they just put back on Disney Plus. So if you ever want to watch it and you hadn't, or you want to watch it,
I
again,
gotta
it's on there.
rewatch it.
That's cool.
God,
been
it's
a
so
while.
good.
I love the Mace Windu stuff in that one.
Yeah, that was the show that made me go like, oh yeah, that's why you're supposed to believe Mace Windu is amazing.
And what
Mhm.
makes Grievous scary?
Yeah, he's not just like the
asshole
old
robot.
like, I'm gonna put you on the train tracks.
Yeah. What is that? Pollen.
For reals.
Oh man. God, I'm
So then
only
I've
other
been playing
things I've
a
done
lot
is
of
touch
D&D.
things.
I kind of want, yeah, Alex. I know Hannah, you know D&D. We could talk about D&D.
well,
I know you don't play a whole lot now, but Alex has his bastard podcast going on,
It's
Dungeons and
it's-
Pods.
Yeah, that one is just made up with different podcasters from California, East Coast, Ireland, London, and we just know each other just by having different podcasts. And we all really wanted to play D&D one day, and so Sean, who was the DM, Dungeon Master for our
Previous episode, check it out.
Yeah, check
My
it out,
blood's in
please.
it.
And I think we've been playing once a month at least. So we're actually going to get together this weekend and have episode 3 out on our YouTube channel, Dungeons and Pods, which I learned later that Dungeons and Casters would have been a better title because
Mm,
casters for spells and
yeah,
casters for podcasts. So that was a missed opportunity
it's over.
right there. Yeah. Yeah. If we ever get picked up on big time, we're gonna have to change our name to that. But yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been real fun.
Yeah, I was watching the second episode I was telling you earlier, and
Thank you, Matt, for supporting.
you're welcome.
Hannah.
I've watched it. It's good.
You watched all of
Name
them?
5 characters.
No, I've watched like the first 2.
Krista? We only have 2.
First-
So you're caught up.
Okay, so then I've watched
There
all
you
of them. I was like, I haven't watched one in a while.
Yeah,
it's been a
it
while.
is interesting that yeah, you're getting like all these people from around the world, and you know they have accents, and it's not like a terrible character accent from an American.
The next season, once you guys finish this story and do another one, you guys have to make sure everybody has to do an accent that isn't theirs.
That is their own. Yeah, I feel like Sean is a little bit afraid to do an accent in this campaign because
gonna
it's
come
other people
off.
that he's playing with.
He's gonna walk in and be like, "Oi!" And somebody's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what the fuck, man?"
Hold on, I got my shrimp on the bobby.
Sean is such a great DM. Oh man, every campaign he does is amazing. I mean, he gets into these characters and he just builds
Yeah, I
this
know,
great story, and I could picture it. He does a great
Yeah,
job.
Stacy wants to like throw him into a play at some point because yeah, he does a lot of good building up everything, and he really does like kind of get into character. And I don't even see Sean anymore. Like when he's in a specific character, like I don't feel like there's this guy that's making this funny voice. It's like that character is there. And we're doing the Curse of Strahd campaign in our just personal game that we're playing with Sean, which is fun, and it's Castlevania. But you're playing the
Icewind
Rime of the
Dale.
Frost Maiden,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of sounds like the Thing in a way. Like it's just cold, and you know you're in Iceland, but not actual Iceland.
Everything's all icy and frozen in this world that we're at right now, this area.
I'm just having a fun time like making characters on the site because I every day I'm just like, okay, like I'm becoming a min-maxer. It's probably a bad thing, but I'm like, how do I do the most damage at once?
Like if people have never played D&D before and want to see how other people who have never played D&D before play D&D, they should listen to our episodes because there's a few that have no idea and they're just going with it. And for being newbies, they do a great great job, but we're getting people are trying to throw sheep at each other.
Yeah,
We're
do I
putting
cast
people to
firebolts or
sleep.
should I throw a sheep?
Yeah, that we're just getting into
Oh, the
some
sheep didn't
weird
work. Oh,
scenarios.
that's my turn.
The answer is always throw the sheep, though. You have to.
No, the answer is to throw the sheep and then cast firebolt on the sheep so it's on fire.
There was a plan that was about to happen with some fire and some alcohol and trying to make that happen. It gets really, you could do, and that's the great thing about D&D. You could do anything your mind thinks up. Doesn't mean it's gonna work, but that is I love it so much because your imagination just is like put to the test. Like, what strategy can I use? Can I talk myself out of this? Can I fight? Can I throw gold at someone and they give me a secret? You have to think of these things like throughout your whole campaign. So it's so
yeah, you
much
basically
fun.
make the same decision as an active shooter. Do you run, fight, or hide?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
what I've learned.
Okay,
Most of the
when
time,
there
I just
is an
fight.
active shooter, not when you are the active shooter.
Sometimes.
No, when you never been?
It's like, no, I'm pretty sure if you're the active shooter, you already made your choice.
Yeah, just walk slowly like the Terminator.
Yeah. So
Anyway, I don't know if you guys
so
heard about
fun.
D&D, but it's pretty cool. You should check it out. You heard it first time here on 3 Hours Later.
Can you have dungeons without dragons?
Yeah, you can even have no dragons. It could just be mazes and manicores.
What? That's a different game.
I think that's from Dexter's Lab. But that's mostly what I've been doing. A lot of Deep Rock Galactic, but I want to talk about that later.
I've been watching a combination of new shows and old shows. The new shows, Dave, second season of Dave is out now, weekly, and that's on. I watched that on Hulu, and I don't know. It's different. It's a different feeling from the first season. First season is like optimistic, and second season is kind of Have you guys watched it yet at all? Because
Nope.
it's a little bit depressing in a way. A lot of characters who used to be cool are kind of dicks now, and it's just random episodes. They don't even flow together, and one has I don't want to say too much into it, but yeah, it's a different. It doesn't give me the same vibes as the first season, which kind of sucks. But
Well,
I'll still watch it.
I knew where the first season ended. Like they were not
Yeah.
in great places emotionally.
No, and it was, but
Like,
it
he
was
got
like
what
it
he
was
wanted.
real.
Yeah,
That
it got real dark and real upsetting, but in a great way.
So I know you guys like talk about it in our chat, but what is Dave? I don't know what it is.
Do you know the rapper Little Dicky?
Yes.
So it is a fictional autobiographical story about him and getting into
Mhm.
the rap game. And he stars Dave Bird is the actual guy who's Little Dicky.
Hmm.
He stars as himself. And from what I've gathered reading about it, it's a hyper real version of kind of his story and how he is. And it's really interesting when you know that, because the character that's probably the most unlikable in the show is him. Like, you can tell he knows he fucked up some places, and he knows he's lucky that he's talented and has a little bit of charm, because like he does not come off as a good guy all that often in the show.
So, and I assume he exaggerates his faults then.
Yeah, but it's just really good. And like, if it's funny because the first couple episodes just started off like it's a funny show about a guy trying to be a rapper, and then it became like one of the better shows I've seen about like what it means to be in a committed relationship. And it also, like, there's just a random episode that deals with what it's like to be bipolar from the point of view of another character in the show. And it's just kind of wild how you start watching this show and it's funny, and then it starts really telling you serious stories about mental health and relationships and what it's like to just like the danger of getting everything you've ever wanted, that kind of stuff, like what it does to a person to overnight go from, hey, I'd like this, to, hey, I have this. And it's really kind of a cool show.
First season,
Interesting.
yeah. Second season,
Yeah, second season I haven't watched any of it yet because I was waiting for it to all to finish.
yeah. It's weird, but you get more celebrities in this one. You get Kareem, you get Doja
Yeah.
Cat, you get it doesn't. And then
Is
his best friend
Is that bitch that's a cow?
no.
She's a son. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny
Oh
thing
my
is, the
God.
reason I'm gonna binge the second season, even though I'm sitting here talking about how much I love like being able to watch something episodically, is because the first season because it cut so deep sometimes, I was really upset having to wait a week to get like any kind of resolution. So I was like, okay, I need it all at one time. That way, at least if I get pissed off or I'm like really sad, I at least have a new episode to go into.
Yeah, this one just seems like more of a series instead of a concentration on. I don't know. We'll discuss it once you finish it, and I think there's still a few more episodes. It's not a very long season. I think there's 10 episodes.
Yeah, usually
Maybe they're,
FX
on
is 10.
6, something like that.
If you
So
want
we'll
a
chat
top
about
quality
that.
bitch I'm a cow reference, you should watch the Dynamite Hour.
Oh, okay, I got. I will. And then Kevin Can Fuck Himself is a great from AMC. Has what's her name? Annie from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
What's her name?
That's where she's from. Okay.
Yeah, she is amazing.
I couldn't remember what she was from. I'm just like, I recognize her, but
yeah, she does an amazing job of being the main character, and it does, WandaVision. There's that like the TV show kind of like laughs, and you get that vibe.
Yeah, so it starts up. I've only seen like the first 2 episodes, but yeah,
Annie
it starts
Murphy.
off
That's her
as
name.
it starts off as a like I would say 90s early 2000s esque sitcom live track,
Yeah,
but then like you get the point of view of the main character, the wife, and it's like dark, and it's not a white shot, and it looks like
No.
Breaking Bad or something. And
that that is when I was watching it today, because I usually watch an episode during my lunch. It's almost like the female version of Breaking Bad, but they do such a good job of changing the light scheme, the lights, the brightness. When it's this kind of sitcom era, it's a viewpoint of her husband in a way, how he acts, his interaction, and they do such a good job once it changes and it becomes more of a darker tone, like the colors change, and it's the same room, but the vibe changes when they make those alterations in the scene, and it's her viewpoint. And it is like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being treated like this. I'm tired of him not listening to me. I'm tired of, he does so many things that are manipulative, but it's kind of glossed over in the sitcom version. But when it changes and it goes into her storyline, and it's such a great show. I think it's one of my favorites so far this year.
I'm pretty sure it's filmed on the exact same set as Everybody Loves Raymond.
I could see that because it's the way the living room and the kitchen are kind of set up. Like I would imagine it's just a few furniture changes, and you're there. But
to me, there's almost like a not quite, but a kind of Too Many Cooks vibe going on there.
Oh yeah, it definitely. I've only watched the first episode, but even in that, it just kind of felt like
someone's gonna get murdered.
It feels like someone's getting murdered, but also it just feels like if the camera turned in a different direction for a split second, you're gonna see something real fucked up. You're just gonna be like, wait, what else is happening here? Like, this is a weird world we're in.
It's only 8 episodes for this season, and that's gonna air next week, I believe. And I'm on episode 6.
I think the last one is the next one.
Yeah,
the last episode's next week, I think.
Yeah, so it's a short season, but oh man, it is really good. It's
yeah, it totally goes from like I would say like Everybody Loves Raymond to what's the William H. Macy's show where he's the shitty dad.
You ever like
Shameless?
Shameless, yeah.
Working retail, you get that customer service voice, and you're like, hey, how's it going? And you almost gotta fake it sometimes. And then you go back into the warehouse and you're like, fuck, this customer's so annoying right now. And it's just that change, that vibe change. It reminds me of the show. Like, you put on a face and then the real you is out there.
It's so real that I left the floor to work in the warehouse instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's nicer back here. There's no people.
You're like, I can't keep censoring myself.
But then you go carry out a TV, and it's like, my truck is over there for the TV that you're trying to take to someone else's truck, and it's like, I heard that 5 times today.
You can bring your truck up if you'd like. No, oh, okay.
It's not that far.
Yeah, throughout the whole parking lot.
TV, but okay.
Yeah, across the street.
I remember being told to do that, carried out TVs on Black Friday when it was freezing cold. I didn't bring a jacket because I was doing registers, and they're like, oh yeah, we need help. I don't have a jacket, and I'm going back and forth taking TVs out, and I got sick The next day, I was like, I can't come in. I'm sick.
Mm.
You guys made me carry out these TVs, and it was cold, and I'm done. I worked like 14 hours that day doing this. Nope, got yelled at.
Gotta find someone to cover for you.
So I don't work
You know,
retail.
I'm
Boy,
gonna
we got scars.
Yeah.
We do. We gotta bring that kind of episode.
You know
theme
what?
again.
Right around Black Friday this year, I'll have a real fun filter off.
Yeah, because we got to do another
Tales of Retail.
yeah, we got to do another Tales of Retail episode.
Yeah, I think we should do another one that's just focused on like tell us your worst Black Friday stories, whether you're a customer or an employee.
Let's name people. Let's do some name drops that episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I've also been watching
I got
Naruto too. The Shippuden. Am I saying that right? I don't know.
shit pudding. Yeah.
Shippuden.
Shippuden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. I don't like the original series, but once he's like older and they get into storylines,
Deep in the shit pudding.
they do get in all in the Shippuden. Shippuden gets shitted on. So
Speaking of shit pudding, I finally have an anime that pulled me back in.
oh.
And it's Food Wars. And it's
Yeah,
the
you're
newest
you and
anime.
Food Wars.
It's so weird, man. Like it's so goddamn weird. I didn't know that's what I needed in terms of like what would get me to start watching an anime like series from start to finish again. But it turns out Iron Chef anime, where the judges come every time they eat something good. That's all I needed.
Literally.
Literally.
With a
Yeah. It's I would be embarrassed to have somebody walk in the room while I was watching this show. Like I would just have to sit there like, I swear to God, this isn't pornography. I mean, it is, but it's not like the way you think.
It's not hentai.
Oh no, it damn near is.
I saw the
Like-
clips you sent us. I was like, oh my.
In the first episode, because
I
my
need to
roommate was
excuse
watching
myself.
it. My roommate was watching it. She said in the first episode, there was like a point where she was worried, like if I walked in the room, she was gonna have to do a quick explanation of what she was watching.
Well, I mean, technically,
I was
that's
like-
all anime. Like,
Oh,
there's
but
always
this-
scenes
this
where it's like,
is-
this is the one where mom walked in, of course, when the rest of it's about these giant ass
Usually,
monsters
though,
eating the world.
you get like the scene that was behind you a second, where it's like, oh, all the girls are at the beach and there's just like a lot of boob out, but like overall, it's still the same story. In this show, instead, it's like an old man going like, the umami of the rice is amazing, and like as he's doing it, his like clothes are flying off and he's like coming everywhere, and he's like, oh, I can't have any more. Ugh.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's real filthy, and it's really good though. I've got about 25 minutes left before I got to run.
Oh,
Well,
that's
you're the
right.
one that was late.
I know, that's why I said 25 minutes instead of 15.
Okay.
I gave you your 10 minutes.
It's clocking in and out.
Now, what
I
do we do?
Yeah, I'm thrown off. I mean, that's really all the shows
I
I've been
mean-
watching. Have not been watching a whole lot of new shows, or other than that, I mean, Naruto has like 1,000 episodes.
That's the wildest. Anytime somebody's like, I'm watching Naruto, I'm like, well, that was a good life you had.
Yeah, it's been like that.
Not judging Naruto, just like that show's long as shit.
I've been really into it though. I've been really enjoying it.
Oh, we were watching. It's a weird name. It's Jujutsu Kaisen. That's a really cool anime. Has like a lot of paranormal themes to it, but it's a really funny show. But it's really weird to describe. But of course, it's anime.
Yeah,
But it's like this high school student is like the perfect athlete, and he just wants to hang out with the paranormal club, and stuff happens, and he eats a demon's finger, and he gets the powers of a demon. But it's about slaying demons, and
That
it's
seems normal.
bizarre. It's
I
really
watched-
enjoyable, and the
watched-
end credit song is a legitimate banger.
yeah. I like when they're
Yep.
they're
It's very jazzy.
the current like Naruto one is like I'm screaming pain or something like that. It got real weird because I'm not sure if they're trying to translate it directly or what, but I like it when they got some good theme songs going with them. I did binge Demon Slayer, and I did go watch the movie as well. And that I love the animation of that one. That's probably one of my favorite like styles of animation, and the storyline is just straight line. Here you go, and they don't have any filters or any filler episodes. They just straight to the point, which I really liked.
I
Yeah, I
need to
just started
watch
watching
that.
it. It's really good.
I
really
started
liked
the manga before the anime had started, and then kind of just forgot about it. But I need to jump into the anime.
Yeah, it's a fast binge as well. I think I binged it like a week without even trying. 'Cause that's my life.
Don't you?
That's all of our lives.
forget.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say Black Widow, but I'm not sure we want to see that for like a Marvel episode or not.
Yeah, because I haven't even watched it.
Oh,
No.
dude, you should. It's fun. It's a good movie.
Yeah, no,
That's a
I
fun
plan to.
movie.
I just keep forgetting about it. Like I totally mean to watch that one.
Watched it day
It's
one.
funny because it's the only Marvel movie I've ever not seen on day one.
Oh,
And because it's just like Black Widow is never, even in the comics, not a character I give a shit about. But like
Yeah.
I was actually shocked. Like I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. I would like to see more of the characters they present in that movie, and we can talk about it more later. But like it surprised me.
I forgot because I've been to theaters a few times this year, and it's been nice because it's been social distance,
Yeah.
and this time it wasn't, and I was really upset. I was around people. I was like, no, there's people next to me, and I went by myself because that's my life as well. It was weird. It was just me, and then next to complete strangers. No, I like it when there's half this crowd.
I don't even mind like if the theater's full, just I don't want people sitting next to me. Like
Yeah,
I
get
barely
some
want people I
space.
know sitting next to me in the theater. I definitely don't want people I don't know sitting next to me in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with COVID. That's just old school me.
Yeah, exactly. I need that. I don't know. It was weird. And then I chose one that was like there's two to the left and the whole row to the right. And now it's like, oh, cool. Everyone's here. It was different.
Yeah,
Give us a
that
social
blocked me
distance
from going to see I put off watching Fast 9 or F9 until kind of nowish. Like I'll go see it probably the next week now that the hype has died down for it.
I wanted to watch the 4DX if it was on there, but it's not. It's Black Widow.
Yeah, even
I wanted to so bad, and then I saw that it wasn't. I got sad.
I saw A Quiet Place 2 in 4DX, and that was it's a weird movie to watch in 4DX.
Yeah.
That's how it
I
is.
thought like I really wanted to see a 40X movie again, but that was like the only option. I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna pass because I'm like, that's not gonna be a good 4DX movie.
then,
And
like,
then I
Saw,
did it,
I
and
was
it
like,
turned
that
out
was-
it wasn't that great.
weird couple of options at first.
Like I really liked the movie. I thought the movie was really cool just because, hey, I also like Last of Us guys who made that movie.
What
But,
you think about that the new one?
It's good. I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of it, but it's so wild to me how watching that movie, and because I hadn't watched the first one until a couple weeks before the new one came out.
Really?
Yeah, and not for any reason. It's how like just sometimes a movie will just pass you by,
Yeah.
and then by the time
Mhm.
you remember it, you're like, oh no, I can't watch it.
Did you want to punch the little kid?
I wanted to punch all of them.
Yeah.
Like all of them. They're all like they're exactly the characters they should follow, where they're good enough at surviving the apocalypse that you can buy that they've been alive for more than a month, but they're also bad enough at it that you also 100% believe any one of them can die.
I knew something
um,
was going to happen. That
It
son.
felt to me like if you told me straight up that it was just the Last of Us movie, like a movie that takes place in the Last of Us universe, it would totally
Mhm.
make sense to me. It's
Yeah.
the same story. Like it's even down to like how sporadic the bad guys are, where it's like, hey, they're present enough, you got to be fucking scared of them, but they're like, you can live some of a life around them. Like
Yeah.
this isn't like The Walking Dead where it's like a tsunami of hundreds of dead bodies coming at you. It's just like this handful of things you really got to watch out for here and there.
Does
But-
it show? Do they have like a different version of one in this one, or is it still just
No. No, that's actually the wildest thing about it, is that this sequel takes place as soon as the first one ends,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and
But it
is
does
just like,
some-
it feels like the next episode of a show. It's like, hey, you saw that first episode and how it ended, and now we continue.
It does some
but
backstory.
also-
Some backstory.
Yeah, it does a little bit of time like it shows a little bit of like the beginning of the shit, and but still doesn't explain like what they are or really where they're from beyond, hey, that it seems to be some sort of alien thing.
Hmm.
And you've seen the first one, right?
Yeah.
So you know how by the end of the first one, they essentially accidentally develop a weapon that helps them fight it.
Yeah, the same
That's
thing
the cool
as,
part is-
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, exactly the same thing.
Mhm.
The second movie is cool because it just shows like, well, what does it feel like when you after I think it's only a year that they've been in this situation,
No.
maybe a couple.
because the baby.
It's not a
born-
super long period of time.
I want to say it's like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
The
so
baby,
like
so baby.
it's cool to watch like a thing where you can see that it's these people that have been on their back foot for so long and they finally have this one thing that they're like, this can let us be proactive, and like how different people think of that. But
So
yeah, I
fire.
enjoyed the shit out of it. I thought it was really good. It's just it was not worth IMAX or
40x.
40X.
First one made me feel immersed in that universe, just the sounds and how they did that. The second one didn't.
Yeah, I
was
don't
more
think you
annoyed
can
with
hit
the
that trick
kids.
twice.
Mm-mm.
I think that's really what it is. Is that first one, it was like a magic trick. They pulled it off, and the second one, you're like, oh, it's this again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still good, but it's this again.
I also feel like the first one was so good that it was a detriment because there were so many copycat movies after the first one came out. 'Cause
Yeah.
we got
Oh, yeah.
what was it, Bird Box and
Bird Box. Yeah.
I didn't know Bird Box was a different movie for the longest time.
yeah.
I didn't realize I had the wrong senses that they were covering up.
There was
there's
another one, too, that
one
came
where
out.
you couldn't fart, or this other monster would get you because it was
There's, like,
smell.
bats or something.
I'm making that up.
There was.
But
There
are
was,
you?
there was a
But are
Netflix
you?
one right after Bird Box that had a similar storyline. It wasn't. I forget what it was called, but something similar came out after Bird Box. You can. I don't know. Maybe it was sound as well.
You know, it's a really cool movie. It just hit me right now. Pontypool. Have either of you seen that?
What was it?
I don't think so.
Pontypool probably came out like 2009, 2010.
Oh.
It's a really weird concept of a movie, and it's more of a zombie movie. But now that I think about it, it kind of fits into that Quiet Place, Bird Box trope, where it's like a concept that turns you into a zombie. It's like the strings of words that get into your head, and it makes you one. But majority of the movie takes place in a radio station, and that's a really cool movie. It's just a bizarre concept of a zombieism.
Silence. That's the movie I was thinking about. It came out 2019,
All weird movies.
and it goes off
like
of
'em.
sounds,
I
but
dig
they're more like big bats, like little, yeah, like bats with a long tail. I don't know how I don't know
Wyverns, we
how it
call it
was. I never
Pokemon
watched
World.
it. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. That's what I've been up to. A lot more happening this year in shows and movies than last year, which is nice.
Yeah, it'd be almost impossible for it not to.
Yeah, this is.
I guess no, not
backlog of
actually
it.
scarily, not very impossible at all for it not to. So I'm glad it didn't do it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
But I think that's a good place
I
to.
think if you wanted, I was gonna mention that I think this would have been the time last year that Black Widow would have come out, and then they got like held back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Would have been a better movie a year ago. Not bad now, but would have been a better movie a year ago.
Could have been better.
Could have.
Could
I
have better now. You're bad.
think it did all right. It did all right in the box office, right?
Oh yeah. No, it did really well its first week, and the second week it dropped a lot, and theater owners were like, you fucking see, and Disney's like, I don't care, I'm just gonna sleep on my bed of money. Like, who cares?
Oh boy.
Sorry, there's like Comic-Con stuff launching right now that's
That's
alerting
right.
me. I just sent you guys the Ray Arnold box set they're putting out that would have been a Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh man,
It has lighting and everything.
We had the Red Ranger in our very own little Fresno recently, and that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I didn't go see
You
him.
got
I
to
did
watch.
see.
You got Walter Jones, right?
Yeah, I went to go be him. It was weird because they set up their own, like how they want the line to work, the payment system, and it took a long time. I was like number 38 out of 50. They only had 50 for that day. I was literally in line for 4 hours. 4 hours to be number 38. It took such a long time. I had time to go to the mall, find a Black Power Ranger toy, come back. My daughter and I had ice cream. It was such a long day to be only 50 people, because you had to.
That is kind of
pay.
wild.
Yeah, you had to pay right as you're gonna see him. That whole process, like, and I even put it on their Facebook. Hey guys, maybe a little earlier in the line to once you get to see him, that process is already done. And they're like, well, the people that come, they set it up themselves of how they want things to be done. And we're like, well, yeah, but that took forever. and then you had to download the Telegram app. They told you what number you were going to
Yeah.
be. Like you had to line up to get the ticket to let you know what number you are. Then wait, download the Telegram app, then wait for your number to be called. Go back into the comic book store, then wait in line. Then as you're gonna see them, pay, and then you get a photo or autograph or whatever. Yeah, that was over 4 hours. I think it was like by 10 o'clock. No, so it was 5 hours because it started at 5 to line up.
So close to 3.
Yeah. So I didn't go see the Red Ranger. I didn't go see the Hulk. Hulk was out here too.
Yeah, that guy's a dick.
He is a dick.
Lou
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno.
Ferrigno.
He's a dick.
But
My nemesis.
I'm
He
kind of
was
He
mean.
glad
doesn't. He doesn't know it.
kind of glad Fresno is getting some people out here, which is nice. Usually,
Yeah.
had to go to,
One time we got Drake Bell.
did we really?
Yeah, that's so nice
Yeah,
though.
He was at Heroes.
He was visiting all the schools around. Oh,
Oh,
probably.
I'm glad he didn't. Then I think
And
Michelangelo,
on-
the original like guy who played in the Michelangelo suit from
The box
Teenage Mutant
turtle.
Ninja Turtles. The
it was the stop motion of the baby Michelangelo.
yeah, the first like movie, like actual movie. Yeah, he was out here. Kind of cool. Kind of waiting for a Green Ranger or Pink Ranger, Amy Jo Johnson or
Sorry,
Jason David Frank. That'd be cool. But they're
No,
they're coming out.
we won't get no Jason David.
I
We're not gonna,
know.
yeah, you know what? I don't
I
want to
know,
talk too
he's
much
too
shit because
big league.
I still kind of like him, but I mean, I side more with Red Ranger on this feud here.
As far as people or your favorite
Yeah, as
character?
far as people.
Yeah?
No, I mean I'm Billy like hardcore, but as far as people,
Wasn't he out here
Uh,
too?
I don't think he
Look.
came out here yet. I met him at WonderCon a while back. He's really cool. Really nice.
Sorry. Name drop, all right?
My best friend David Yost, the original Blue Ranger, Billy Cranston, named after Bryan Cranston because he did some voices on the show.
It was weird because they always tease who's the person coming next. And they put the Yellow Ranger picture out.
Hmm.
And I was like, she's
some
not
bad news, guys.
alive. Yeah. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know if they know what they're doing. So
Did either of you guys see that Ultimates Power Ranger toy line? Like, it's not for me, but I thought you two might enjoy it.
Did you send it to us?
I might have. So NECA does this. It's like a series of series called Ultimates, and
Mhm.
they're usually based on cartoons. So like, and they get these licenses from other toy companies. So like, they just got the license to do GI Joe, even though Hasbro, a toy company, owns GI Joe. But the way they're doing it is they're like $55 per figure, but they make it's the ultimate version of each character based on the animation. And so they got the license for Power Rangers, which is also owned by Hasbro, but what they're doing with those is they're hyper realistic looking ones. And so like with the Yellow Ranger, it comes with both portraits for both the women who play the Yellow Ranger.
Oh no, that scares me.
But they're really cool looking. Like they look really good.
It's not that cool when it's like the head's floating above the thing. Oh, it's gone. Too
Oh, are you
scary.
looking at it right now? Or
Yeah.
yeah, and they're putting out
yeah,
how
I
was
think
it?
you
They
did
have
say
Tommy so
that.
far.
I think you did.
Yeah, they look really neat. And the Goldar was the one that even I was like, fuck man, I don't even like this shit. And I like Goldar.
Oh, I met
thought it
Goldar.
looked good.
He came to Fresno once.
Yeah.
He's not a real person.
Yeah, he was at ZapCon.
Zap.
Oh, it's Super 7. It's not NECA. My bad. It's Super 7.
What a
Some
dingus.
nerd's gonna yell at me.
What did you say? Yeah.
Well, no, NECA makes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ultimate figures.
Get it together. Get it together.
I'm sorry. That's
been a
been a
while.
long day.
But I think with that, we can wrap another episode of 3 Hours Later. Do you remember the script, Alex?
I did the thing where like the teacher's trying to like give you I need a student to answer the math question, and I just like look down like I'm busy. Like,
Don't look at me.
oh no!
Find all of our
You-
socials at linktree.com.
no,
Yeah.
it's
3 hours later.
no, it's a link tree. So it's linktr.ee/3 hours later, the number 3 and hours later, all spelled out. And that's where you find everything. Facebook, Twitter. We're almost at 6,000 followers. Crazy enough. We haven't had a new episode in a while, and we're 200 away from 6,000. So we have that. We have our Facebook. We have two Facebook. One is our episodes, and the other one is just funny memes that we probably post like 20
Oh yeah, so
funny stuff a day.
yeah, so we got like the the regular boring business page, but then we got the cool group, the secret
Which is
group,
bigger than our actual
with the
podcast
dingus
group.
memes. Yeah,
We're on the TikTok
It's
and that's
as
not
still
on
well.
its
going like
own.
every day. Like we got stuff every day from everywhere in there.
Yeah.
Everyone in there.
I get excited when someone else like new. We got our regulars that post all the time, but when I see like
Yeah.
a new name, I'm like, oh, look at you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you guys see we got our first thing pulled down by Facebook on there, and they did it like a month after it went up?
Did we?
Yeah, I forgot what
Yeah,
that was about.
it was the Tarzan swing, and you could
Oh,
it's under
yeah.
because I even almost removed it when it was on there initially, and I'm like, I don't care, it's funny. And I was like, I'll let Facebook deal with it. Then like the other day, Facebook dealt with it. It's been like 2 months since it went up.
Yeah, it's where Tarzan is swinging, and then you see Tarzan's parts.
Which ones?
The
Mhm.
balls.
Oh, the bowls.
The balls.
Well, for stuff like that, follow the 3
Tarzan's
hours later
balls.
for tarsticles. Follow the
Oh.
3 hours later Super Secret Club.
Oh man. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's how we
All right,
do an
Anna, plays
episode.
out. That was what you always did, right?
boop 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 boop. I think that was the song, right? Wait, then there's like there's always a bird. I don't know why.
It's like you did all the instruments. It was weird.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Oh,
Bye.
no, I'm done.